Everybody, good morning. It is like 1:42 in the morning, and I've been going through all my stuff and just kind of like getting rid of some things and throwing stuff away that I don't need, and etc., etc., etc. And I realized that I'm gonna be like super busy, so while I'm thinking about it, I'm just gonna do videos while I can, because I'm sure once I move, I'm gonna be like trying to sort everything out and try to get used to the new schedule and stuff like that. So the first thing I did is I changed the band on my medical bracelet, and I made it much tighter so it no longer sits down here. It actually sits on my actual wrist, which is nice. So I told you I had a black one, and I like it. It feels nice. The other one was, I'd had it on long enough, and this matches more than, the other thing. Well, whatever. What did I don't have a whole hell of a lot to talk about right now. I think, I wrote a blog today about what it's like for people to whine and complain about their journey. Oftentimes, and I've caught myself doing it too, oftentimes people will cry and whine about a plateau, or they'll be pissy because they're not losing weight fast enough, or they'll, constantly put themselves down because they're not living up to their expectations of having surgery. Everybody's surgery is completely different. Just because I've lost X amount of weight since my surgery doesn't mean that the next person's going to lose that much, or they might lose even more than me by this time. I think that that's a very important part of the process. I think that people need to realize that it really does matter. Like, it actually matters what you say on your blog. It matters what you say on Facebook. It matters what you say in your videos, because you would never know who's watching. You never ever know who's going to watch your videos or read your blog, or, and is looking for help. And then all they see is negativity. All they see is you whining and complaining about something they wish they had. Being able to lose 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds. Some people dream of that shit. Just being able to lose just the smallest amount. Where, here I am, practically bitching to myself that I haven't lost 200 pounds yet. That it's not good enough that I've lost 181. Does that make any fucking sense? No. Sounds like I'm an idiot, right? Think about it. So, because I know that there are so many people out there who's like, I can't lose anything. And I was one of those people. Before I decided to get my ass up and work my ass off and go on Weight Watchers and, see a regular doctor and push myself to the limit, I wasn't losing anything. I was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. I don't know how much I weighed at my highest. The last time that I had checked myself was on one of the big hospital scales. One of the ones you could put a wheelchair on, the big ones. And it was 512 pounds. Because I was in a wheelchair, so I couldn't even stand up to take my own fucking weight. So, yeah, it was a big deal. And then I was so discouraged and depressed, I didn't want to see anymore. So I did not bother to record any from like 2 or 3 months. And then something just clicked with me. They were talking about not giving me my surgery, and that they wanted me to lose X amount of pounds, and they were talking about liquid diets and all kinds of craziness. And I was just so wrapped up in my own ridiculousness. I was so just wrapped up in my own head that I didn't want to see how much I weighed. So for all I know, I could have been much, much bigger than that. I have absolutely no damn idea. None. But I do know that so many times we are just wrapped up in our own journey. And, you know, we never know who's going to be affected by what we have to say. So I'm not saying you can't complain about something. I'm not saying that it's not your right to talk about your journey. It's not your right to be grumpy or pissy about something that's happening in your own life, of course. But if you're going to put yourself out there publicly, if you're going to put yourself out there for help and to, you know, help inspire and help other people, then I think it's really important to realize that people who are watching you, there may be several of them who wish they could be you. And I think that really humbled me today. I really sat and thought about it for a really long time. You know, like I said, I wrote my blog on it, and I felt that, I felt bad. I felt really bad for, you know, the 400, 500, 600, 700 pound people who don't have insurance, who can't get gastric bypass, who've been turned down by their insurance companies, who are fighting the insurance companies, who, you know, are bedbound, who are still in their wheelchairs, who don't have a gym in their area that they can go to, who can't afford it, you know, who are unable to get to a pool. I mean, I have been uniquely blessed for the last year and a half. I mean, more than that, you know, because well, about a year and a half. I have been uniquely blessed. I'm not going to lie about it. My life is completely different than it was in 2012. December 1st, 2012 was when I started changing my life. I'd moved in with one of my best friends, Janet's house, and she practically helped me get my gastric bypass and really helped me, you know, fix, you know, my life. You know, I am forever in her debt. I am forever grateful for what she did for me, you know, but I don't think that I would have been able to do it without her love and support. And a lot of people don't have that. So I think that it's important for me to be positive and motivated and, you know, show strength and willpower. And I'm not saying that I can never have a bad day. I'm not saying that I'm perfect and, you know, I know everything and that I'm not weak, you know, some days. But I think that because I put myself out here on YouTube, and because I have a blog, and, you know, I'm helping with the website and I'm doing videos and talking to so many different men and women, I think it's really important to try to stay upbeat and be uplifting. Whoops. But I'm not the only person, you know, like, I really think it's really important to see that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. I think that just because it looks better doesn't mean it is better. I think that if people would just look at their friends and see that they're suffering too, and be more aware of that, then we would be better people, you know, as a whole. And that's what I'm working towards. I don't want to feel guilty, you know. I'm not saying that I can't boast and I can't, you know, slap myself on the back, you know, for doing a good job, you know, because that does motivate people in a certain way. I just don't think that that should be the only thing that I do. I think that I should do more videos like this. You know, I think that that's really important for people to see, and people to know that they're not alone, and that that we can do this. We can do this. And it's not going to be easy. And it's still not easy for me. but I'm a hell of a lot better than where I was. So for that, I have no reason to complain. Sorry for the sleepy vlog. I hate having to do that, but I'm just I get inspiration, and you know, I have the actual motivation to do it. It just happens to be really late at night. I hope what I said made sense. You know, honestly, I have been doing a lot of soul searching for the last like 2 weeks, and I think that all of the choices that I'm making are fantastic for me. I think that, you know, just removing the excess garbage out of my life, you know, just things that weren't helping me on my journey, that were hindering my journey. I think that by removing, you know, things and people and focusing more, being able to focus more on myself, you know, and trying to become stronger, like learning to drive, and, you know, coming out of my shell more often and not wanting to hide, you know, every time I went outside. Sorry. I think that's a big deal. I think that's a huge deal for me, because my natural thing to do is to hide inside the house and like never go out and never see anybody and never do anything, because I'm an agoraphobic, and there are often times where I will not go out. You can't drag me out. It could be on fire. The house could be on fire, and I would just sit here and be like, you better be on fire somewhere else, because I ain't leaving this house. You know, take the dogs, my computer, and if I survive, call me Khaleesi. You know, that's how I feel about it. I'm like, you ain't going nowhere. So I think by forcing myself to cut ties and forcing myself to, you know, do more things outside of the house and work out more often and stop fucking complaining about everything, I'm gonna be a much happier person, and I can feel that, and I can see it in my pictures, and I can see it in my relationship with my husband. My husband and I's relationship is phenomenal right now. I am happier with him than I have ever been. It's ridiculous. You know, just changing your life in little ways can really help in other areas of your life. And him and I are so happy. Like, he doesn't even play the computer games anymore. Like, he comes home and spends his time with me. We sit and talk forever. We cuddle together. We eat dinner together. I drive him around. He drives me around. Like, we have such a rich and more fulfilling relationship than we ever have. And it was all because I was insecure. I was insecure with myself. I was insecure with my relationship, because I was always wondering if he was going to find something better. If he was going to find somebody who could do something that I couldn't. If he would find somebody thinner than me, or younger than me, or, you know, etc., etc., etc. And then, you know, it just snapped with me one day. I was like, he's not going to find anybody better than me, because I'm fucking awesome. I'm awesome. I am awesome. And I love him. And if he's looking for somebody else, he's retarded. So that vote of confidence, when I talk to him, when I touch him, when we, you know, engage each other, you know, when we're looking in each other's eyes and stuff like that, you can tell how happy we are. And just that one simple thing, that little bit of confidence goes a long way. It goes a long, long way. And I am beyond just happy and thrilled and enjoying his company. And I wish I would have, you know, been more confident all along. If I would have known how good my relationship would be, I would have been doing this all along. But now I know, and I'm not going back to that. So I know I'm rambling, so I'm gonna cut this video off because I know I'm just like picking things out of my brain just to throw at you. So I'm gonna go. I'll try to make another video tomorrow, kind of give you guys a couple videos in a row, so while I'm moving, whatever, because I'm so tired. But I will talk to you guys later. Lots of love and hugs, and good night.